So, uh, small bites, sort of shitty. Thick thighs, fat kitty. I mean, Bright Lights, Big City by McInerney is a 1984 um, drama novel. It's a pretty quick read. The prose is perfect, it just flows. Really strong writing, so it's quick, and it's only 182 pages. And there's some pretty beautiful descriptions in this book. So if you're a writing nerd, a style nerd like me, enjoys writing style, this has rereadability value. So um, basically, however, the substance of the story is it's like intentionally slightly mundane, realistic, totally believable, but nothing terribly philosophically deep or enlightening or even exciting, because the story is really, I think, can't discern between style and substance unless it was one large meta cautionary tale about not rushing through things or something like that. So you have this 20-something-year-old naive young dude who is working for a prestigious magazine company, and marries a beautiful woman. He probably marries for looks, for sex, and ends up getting a divorce. And his wife, once her modeling career takes off, just treats him like dirt and forgets about him. And he is not really maturely going about processing the divorce or his imploding emotional state, and he's making a lot of bad decisions, getting caught up in the naivety of like the fake side of the American dream, the material side, and it turns out like so much of the things that have been kept him going, it turns out were actually not real and sort of transitory, and he's been running on fumes the whole time. But the novel has a sort of like self-aware like vibe to it, where I think the book itself and perhaps also the author don't really have the actual moral or intellectual chops to actually, I mean, I wouldn't claim that I do either, but like to claim to make this an actual cautionary tale that can stick with you. But it just so happens that I have a soft spot for slice of night, really well written slice of life like novels like this, where somebody at least has a life. I guess I read so much fiction because I don't really have a life, or do I? I don't know, but anyway, I liked it, but I don't think most modern audience readers would. So, I mean, I give it a solid 8 out of 10, maybe a 8.5. I'm sure I missed things. There's some decent humor. Most of it, though, is mixed with this dark, sardonic, sad, ironic humor that not everybody's gonna like. And so, it's also one stylistic element. The fact that he's a cocaine. I don't know if he's a cocaine addict, but it, like, the way the book's written sort of feels like, you know, it doesn't dwell on one activity or thought long enough to make meaning out of anything. Instead, it's just this series of chasing, I guess you could call it escapism, which is really too relatable to young Americans, even, 40 years ago when this was written, to now, unfortunately. So it makes reference of what's wrong with Western civilization, but it doesn't get really deep into it. So, I mean, this, in its own weird way, for me, it was a fun read. I do recommend it, but I will say one unfortunate thing. I don't think this book would exist without superior novels that tackle similar subjects in a more deep and more artistic way, like Less Than Zero by Bret Easton Ellis or Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas by Hunter S. Thompson. Like, I don't think this book would even exist without those superior works, but it's still really good. So, but that's just more of a theory. I could be dead wrong about that. No offense to the author or anything. I would definitely read more books by this author. So, yes. Good, not great. Bright Lights, Big City. Send me your recommendations, please. And fuck off now.